Unit 4 is the differential global positioning system. Differential global positioning system. So in that we need to know first introduction. So some of geometrical aspects of a method is called differential navigation. Some of geometrical aspects of a method. Some of geometrical aspects of a method called differential navigation. So differential navigation, which is used as a means of real-time calibration for a navigation system. It means that if you want to do the navigation or differential navigation, so you need to take geometrical aspects, which means that a real-time calibration for navigation system. We need to take position, then velocity, navigation. So these are the main parameters or type. These are the main parameters for doing real-time calibration for a navigation system. Particularly this evaluation and analysis, is applied. Particularly this evaluation and analysis is applied to a new satellite. Particularly this evaluation and analysis is applied to a new satellite based on radio navigation system, which is known as NavStar. Navigation, satellite, transmitter and receiver. You need to remember that NavStar is nothing but navigation, satellite, transmitter and receiver. Navigation, satellite, transmitter and receiver. But here the NavStar is navigation, satellite, timing and ranging system. Navigation, satellite, timing and ranging system. Global positioning system. So here NavStar GPS is nothing but navigation, satellite, timing and ranging system. Global positioning system. So in this we are applying a new satellite based navigation system, that is the radio navigation system. So this is currently under development by United States Department of Defense. This NavStar GPS is currently under development by the United States Department of Defense, USDOD, United States Department of Defense. The global positioning system provides continuous all-weather. The global positioning system will be provide continuous all-weather worldwide, all-weather conditions, worldwide information, and accurately will generate three-dimensional navigation and has the potential to replace many existing radio navigation systems. The GPS system provides continuous weather conditions, worldwide information, which will be in accurate only, and three-dimensional navigation system also will be provided, three-dimensional schemes, x and y, z directions, and it has the potential to replace, it has the potential to replace many existing radio navigation systems. So in the year 1978, Millikan and Jola and Stansel, and in the 1988, United States of Defense, United States of Defense was introduced this. Next, it should be noted that although Navstar GPS is designed, Navstar GPS is designed to satisfy the positioning and navigation requirements. It should be noted that although Navstar GPS is designed to satisfy the positioning and navigation requirements, designed to satisfy the positioning and navigation requirements of any type of vehicle. It should be noted that although Navstar GPS is designed to satisfy the positioning and navigation requirements of any type of vehicle, like airborne, shipborne, land-based. So these are the requirements, let us assume. So this study considers only the marine application of the system. This airborne, shipborne, land-based. So this any type of vehicle is considered only the marine application of the system. So we need to see field test results using some of current prototype GPS satellites. We need to take some of current prototype GPS satellite systems test results. Those results have indicated that accuracies of the order of a few meters have indicated that field test results using some of the current prototype GPS satellites have indicated that accuracies of the order of a few meters can be achieved. So these current prototype GPS satellites tested by Parkinson in 1979, Lachapelli et al. In 1982, Payne in 1980. So these are the scientists who have tested the results by using some of the current prototype GPS satellites, which have indicated that accuracies of the order of a few meters can be achieved. These early results and other studies led the ESA to establish a special working group of people from Department of Defense and the Department of Transportation for doing the early results and other studies. Led the ESA, United States of America, to establish a special working group of people from the Department of Defense and the Department of Transportation, whose purpose is to study and plan the policies whose purpose is to study and plan the policies for all radio navigation systems, whose purpose is to study and plan the policies for all radio navigation systems, whose purpose is to study and plan the policies for all radio navigation systems under US government control. So all these proposals is under study and plan the policies for all radio navigation systems under the US government control. Under the US government control. So every year, this group is special working group. Every year, this group publishes a document. Every year, this group publishes a document is called the Federal Radio Navigation Plan. Every year, this group publishes a document is called the Federal Radio Navigation Plan. The Federal Radio Navigation Plan. According to this document, it is proposed that the performance of the GPS. It is proposed that the performance of the GPS be intentionally degraded to 200 meters. Circular probable error. According to this document, it is proposed that the performance of the GPS be intentionally degraded to 200 meters circular probable error, CPE, circular probable error. So the term circular probable error is one of the adopted accuracy measures. The term circular probable error is one of the adopted accuracy measures for a radio navigation system. And represents the radius of the circle containing 50% of fixed being made. We will make this circle containing of 50% of fixes being made means Burt et al. In 1967. The term circular probable error is one of the adopted accuracy measures for a radio navigation system and represents the radius of the circular containing 50% of the fixes being made. The name of scientist Burt et al. 1967. Therefore, the further accuracy of the GPS system, therefore the full accuracy of the GPS system, will not be available. The full accuracy of the GPS system will not be available to unclassified civil uses. So the denial of accuracy or selective availability. Denial of accuracy, or you need to call selective availability. The selective availability, as the United States Department of Defense calls it, may be implemented in the late 1980s. the selective availability as the United States of Defense, United States of Department of Defense policy may be implemented, may be implemented in the late 1980s, when GPS will be fully operational. When the GPS will be fully operational. If so, then this policy will be represents. Then this policy will be represents a disappointment and a great problem. If so, then this policy will represent a disappointment and a great problem to a large number of civil users. If so, then this policy will represents a disappointment and a great problem to a large number of civil users who need accuracies of the order of a few tens of meters. If so, then the policy will represent a disappointment and a great problem to a large number of civil users who need accuracy of the order of a few tens of meters. Offshore oil exploration, offshore oil exploration, seismic surveys, marine gravity and magnetic measurements, hydrographic surveys, physical oceanography operations, fishing, collision avoidance, harbor and harbor approach navigation, delineation of oil reserves, pipelining, and so on. So all these, all are some of the marine applications. So all these comes under marine applications only. All are some of the marine applications which are requiring better accuracies than those which will be provided after the implementation of the selective availability. So all are some of marine applications requiring better accuracies than those which will be provided after the implementation of the selective availability. So you need to see the table 1 in the below slide, which will be gives an overview of the accuracy requirements. The table 1.1 gives an overview of accuracy requirements. Table 1.1 gives an overview of the accuracy requirements for those marine operations. For those marine operations that cannot be satisfied. By GPS after it has been internationally degraded. After it has been internationally degraded. You need to see the table. This will be gives the overview of accuracy requirements. You need to see here. This is the type. This is the accuracy range. So this table shows the accuracy requirements that cannot be satisfied after the implementation of the selective availability. So this data gave from after Radio Technical Commission for Marine Service in the 1981. So you need to see the type. The first type is conventional seismic surveys. Conventional seismic surveys. See in that the position repeatability accuracy is repeatability accuracy is 150 meters circular probable error. CP is nothing but circular probable error. You need to remind that. Okay, CP is means circular probable error. So for conventional seismic surveys, we have the first one is position repeatability. The accuracy range is 150 meters. For positional for position, absolute accuracy is 150 meters. The sequential positions, sequential positions is 15 meters. Sequential positions accuracy is 15 meters. Coming to under well site surveys. Well site surveys. So under the well site surveys, the position repeatability will have the accuracy of 50 meters CP. 50 meters CP. And the position absolute accuracy is 100 meters CP. Coming to drilling vessel positioning. Drilling vessel positioning. So in this type, the approach to location. So approach to location accuracy is approach to location accuracy is 50 meters. 50 meters CP. And in place position confirmation. In place position confirmation is 5 to 10 meters CP. 5 to 10 meters. Circular probable error. Circular probable error. Coming to under offshore hydrography, all these are marine applications only. So these marine applications requiring the accuracies. So what is their accuracies is representing in this showing in this table 1.1. So offshore hydrography, that is 1:1 lakh scale. For 1:1 lakh scale, 100 meters CP. 100 meters CP. That is offshore. For inshore hydrography, that is 1:10,000 scale or greater. 1:10,000 scale or greater. The accuracy is 10 meters CP. For inshore hydrography. Coming to three-dimensional seismic survey. Three-dimensional seismic surveys. In the first we discussed conventional seismic surveys. Here we are going to discussing about three-dimensional seismic surveys. Three-dimensional seismic surveys. So in that we have two. One is the position repeatability and the other one is sequential positions. Sequential position. So in the position repeatability, the accuracy is 20 meters. In the position repeatability, the accuracy is 20 meters CP. And the sequential positions, the accuracy is 5 meters CP. The accuracy is 5 meters CP. Coming to harbor and harbor approaches. How will able to approaches harbor or harbor approaches? So in that, we need to see that position repeatability. Position repeatability. The position repeatability accuracy is 4 to 5 meters. 4 to 5 meters CP. So all these accuracy requirements that cannot be satisfied after the implementation of the selective availability. So before implementing this selective availability, which will be satisfied after implementing this selective availability, this cannot be satisfied. Cannot be satisfied. Coming to a receiver is called a differential monitor station. A receiver called a differential monitor station. A receiver called a differential monitor station located on a well-surveyed site. A receiver called a differential monitor station located on a well-surveyed site, which will be serves as a means of calibration for the navigation system. You need to see that in the figure 1.1. A receiver is called a differential monitor station located on a well-surveyed site, which will be serves a means of calibration for navigation system. So this receiver continuously receives radio navigation signals. This receiver continuously receives radio navigation signals and compares them with values estimated from its known positions. This receiver continuously receives radio navigation signals. And compares them with the values estimated from its known position. The differences between computed and known positions. The differences between computed and known positions. The differences between computed and known positions become the differential corrections. Known positions become the differential corrections and are sent to nearby users to correct their positions. Therefore, a data link is required. Between the users and the differential monitor station. Therefore, a data link is required between the users and the differential monitor stations. Therefore, a data link is required between the users and the differential monitor stations. This differential global positioning navigation system, differential GPS navigation is a possible solution. Differential GPS navigation is a possible solution to the selective availability problem. This is the possible solution to the selective availability problem. Since the effect of any common errors are intentional degradation degradation to both receivers. So both receivers, we have a monitor and user, right? Monitor and user or receiver. Both receivers will be reduced when using a differential techniques. If you use a differential techniques like a differential GPS navigation, you will able to know the international degradation to both receivers. These will be reduced the problem of selective availability. The next is any degradation techniques. So we discussed in the previous slide degradation technique. So if you apply any degradation technique, what will happen to GPS? So any degradation techniques applied to GPS, any degradation technique applied to GPS will appear to both the user and the differential monitor station. Any degradation techniques applied to GPS, this will be appear to both the user and differential monitor stations, both receivers, monitor and user and differential monitor station with a similar structure. Therefore, it is likely that the underrated accuracy can be partially retrieved. Therefore, it is likely that underrated accuracy can be partially retrieved by using differential GPS navigation. As stated previously, the objective of this DGPS, is to analyze, evaluate, and test some geometrical parameters which affect differential. So as stated previously, the objective of this DGPS is to analyze, evaluate, and test some geometrical parameters which affect differential. The GPS navigation, when selective availability is present, differential GPS navigation has already been investigated. Differential GPS navigation has already been investigated by other people. GPS navigation, when selective availability is present, differential navigation has already been investigated by other people. The scientist Rutger studied the properties of the upper layer in 1981. In the year 1981, Rutger's scientist studied the properties of upper layer. Of the ionosphere. Upper layer is the ionosphere only, right? So the upper layer using differential techniques. Rutger studied the properties of the upper layer of the ionosphere using differential techniques. Yeah, now we need to discuss the quiz questions.